A lightning rebel attack has ended his family's 50-year rule.
What's up? I'm no longer drunk because you cannot discuss sober issues while drunk. I know our politicians in the United States do it all the time, but I'm not a politician. I'm a demagogue.
The news has sparked celebrations on the streets of Damascus, but it has also left many people unsure about what happens next. The war may
What's going to happen next is going to be chaos. Like, it's going to be basically the same thing that happened when Saddam was overthrown in Iraq. Like, was he the bestest guy ever? No, but he was a stabilizing force. So, without these stabilizing forces in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world, there's going to be fucking chaos and confusion, and it's the law of the fucking jungle. Whoever's the strongest is going to fucking win. That's sad, that's unfortunate, that's horrible, but yeah, that's what the case. That's how shit works. Like, I think that my issue with a lot of leftists is that we live in such a fucking fantasy world. Like, people's war in the middle. Like, where's the Maoist party in the Middle East? Okay, so what happens when you have a power vacuum, like what we have now in Syria, is that the strongest, the most militarily strong actor is gonna come out victorious, and people follow strength. Okay, like, people think that the masses are going to follow ideology. No, no, people follow whoever is least likely to blow their fucking brains out. People follow whoever can provide them stability. What do people want? They want what the Bolsheviks said: peace, land, and bread. Whoever can provide even the spectral semblance of those things is going to have the mass support. That's how people think. That's how people work.
have ended, but the conflict seems far from over. Syria is highly polarized, and Assad has left in his place a strategic vacuum. Whoever fills that vacuum will determine the future of Syria and the wider region. Already, rebel forces are infighting over territory, control, and power. The Turkish-backed SNA and the American-backed SDF have engaged one another in pitched battles, especially
So you've got two NATO countries, proxies, fighting each other. Yeah, this is going to be a shit show.
in Manbij.
Turkey is a member of NATO, and so is the U.S. The U.S. is basically the big boss of NATO. So you've got the Kurds, the SDF, and their allies, who have all this stuff over here, and then you've got the Turkish-backed SNA, the Turkish proxies, fighting here. So this is big. Like, this isn't just like two fucking groups of people fighting. This is pretty heavy shit. Like, you've got two NATO countries proxies fighting each other. And if you think that this is not going to have like this is not going to have regional, if not global implications, you haven't been paying attention.
A key town 30 kilometers south of the Turkish border. Meanwhile, Russian forces are hastily withdrawing from their airbase in Kobani or Ain al-Arab. Additional SNA and SDF fighting is likely here, and Russia does not want to be caught in the middle.
Yeah, Russia is like, I don't know why people act like Russia is this big fucking bear that can do whatever it wants. Like, yes, it is still a superpower. It's still a nuclear armed superpower, but also, like, it's overextended. It's overextended. That's why they didn't throw down for Assad, because, like, they've got their own problems. They've got a major war raging on their southern border. And, like, you've got Ukrainians that are carrying out attacks inside Russia proper now. Not Russian occupied territory, Russia proper, the Russian Federation. So the thing with allies is that if shit starts to pop off in their own backyard, or God forbid, in their own country, yeah, they're gonna leave your ass hanging. They're like, you know what, fuck Syria. Like, we've got our own shit going on. We're not going to let our country collapse to help save Syria. Yeah, we'll grant Assad asylum so that he doesn't end up lynched like Gaddafi was, but in terms of continuing to commit resources and troops and shit, yeah, they're gonna pull out. They've got problems at home, and they don't want their boys being dragged down the streets. Nobody wants that. That's bad for morale. And regardless of Russian government censorship, like, people over there have Telegram, they have Twitter, they can see what's going on in other parts of the world. So, yeah, that would be horrible for morale, and that would have a negative impact on the war that they're cooking up, that they're prosecuting in Ukraine.
Russian policymakers are also sweating over the future of Khmeimim Air Base and the Tartus Naval Facility, the two jewels in their Mediterranean crown. These bases may stay pending the terms. If not, they could relocate to Libya, where the warlord Haftar reigns supreme. Adding to the tension, some American and Israeli analysts are suggesting partitioning Syria into 3 parts. However, the Syrian rebels didn't fight Assad, Russia and Iran for 13 years just to see their country carved up. Opportunists and vultures are circling Syria's corpse. Defeating Assad may have ended the nightmare, but what comes after is a shadow yet to take form. The world's top concern now is the potential return of ISIS. The United States has scrambled its local forces to keep a lid on things. At the same time, it has bombed ISIS infrastructure to
Nah, that's kind of shiesty to me. Like, anytime they bomb something over there, they always raise that big boogeyman.
reduce its operational means. According to US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, ISIS will try to re-establish capabilities.
So basically, the United States is trying to secure the oil. That's essentially what's happening. They're trying to secure the oil, and they're using the boogeyman of Daesh, ISIS, as as an excuse.
The Syrian rebels aren't buying it. They say the move is opportunistic to keep US boots on the ground. But things are hectic, with friendly fire in the mix. This week, an American MQ-9 Reaper drone was shot down by the US-backed SDF. The source reporting this is a state-run agency from Russia, so it's important to be extra cautious about these things. In this case though, the Russian source seems to be right. The images that have come out show a tail section that is identical to the American drone. However, there is no insignia, which has to do with plausible deniability and all. But the fact that a Russian source is right, while no American sources are talking about the downing of a US...
Oh no, propaganda. The Russians do the exact same thing. Like, you think they're going to be talking about, 300 of our guys were wiped out in Ukraine, or one of our soldiers was killed in Syria. No, that shit is bad for morale. Like, the United States government practices propaganda as well. I don't see why a lot of people don't get that. Like, every government practices propaganda. They're not going to publish bad things that have happened because it's going to make their citizens mad. And then their citizens are going to start questioning, what the fuck are we doing in these places? Why is my son coming back from overseas maimed, and now he's a vegetable for the rest of his life and he has to be taken care of? Like, people don't like that shit. People like short wars. People like short victorious wars, or temporarily victorious wars. People don't like long, drawn-out, protracted conflicts. That's why you cannot beat a Maoist protracted people's war.
US drone shows just how biased media outlets can be at times. We'll come back to this later in the video, but the point is that all angles have to be taken into consideration, even if some sources disagree with what we already believe.
I don't give a shit about your
and towns are few here, and there are almost no strategic places to anchor, so control over this area is unclear at best and shifting at worst. Still, this is the best representation of the current situation, and it sums up the geopolitics in one snapshot. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, controls the bulk of Syria's population. They represent the Islamist element of the opposition. It is headed by Abu Muhammad al-Julani, who used to be
Hey, look, the woke jihadi.
part of Al-Qaeda, but has since had a PR makeover to look like the Syrian Zelensky.
That had to have been intentional. Like, you've literally got this guy wearing the same shit that Zelensky wears.
HTS is responsible for most of the gains against Assad and now controls major cities such as Aleppo, Idlib, Hama, and Homs. They also control Syria's entire coastline, including the port cities of Latakia and Tartus. However, factionalism runs deep in HTS. For instance, the southern half of the country is run by two subdivisions, the Syrian Free Army and the Southern Operations Room. Technically, these two are allied with HTS, but with certain preconditions. The Syrian Free Army, or SFA for short, is an American-backed unit that initially operated out of the Al-Tanf military base by the Iraqi and Jordanian border. As HTS advanced on Assad, the SFA broke out of its exclave and raced across the desert to seize the historical site at Palmyra. They eventually made their way to Damascus,
CIA-backed rebel starter outfit.
where they now control the northern part of.
You know, somebody, a comrade from Palestine told me, like, you could always tell who the U.S.-backed rebels are because, like, we don't wear boots in Palestine. We wear fucking sandals or we wear Adidas. And whenever you see somebody that's coming around wearing a whole bunch of, like, really, really clean boots, those guys are probably backed by the U.S. And from my experience, it's generally been a pretty good weather vane. All the guys that wear the nice desert boots are American-backed.
The capital. The other half of Damascus is controlled by the Southern Operations Room, SOR for short. This one is a merger of Sunni Syrians and the Druze minority.
You know, I'm reading The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ellen Popp, and it's amazing how the Israelis, the Zionists, were able to divide, because the Druze, they're basically descended, if I recall correctly, from an Ismaili sect. So they branched off from a sect and formed their own sect, and it's a very, very endogenous group. Like, you cannot be Druze if you're not born Druze. So, and they're basically like, they're Arabs, like pretty much everybody else in this region. But the Israelis basically used them as shock troops. Like, when they were during the Nakba, when they were kicking out the Palestinians, they allowed the Druze to stay. And to this day, the Druze are really, really, really prominent in the IDF. And they got their start in the IOF by being like, they were border troops. And of course, the Zionists look down on them because Israel has racial stratification as well. They basically see them as being barely better than Palestinians. But when a war pops off, they're really, really proud of, and they love the Druze. That just shows how you do not allow your enemy, colonizers, to come and like divide you from people who you've lived alongside for hundreds of years. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you might have a temporarily better standard of living, but at what cost? And then when they get tired, when they get through with the people that they use you as a cudgel against, then they're going to eventually turn on you.
Territory they control also borders Israel, and in fact,
Also, fuck Jordan and fuck King Abdullah.
SOR was brought to life as a buffer. The idea is that with the Druze minority in charge of the border, interaction with Israel would proceed as non-violently as possible. Collectively, SOR and SFA are part of HTS's war effort. But even considering those two subdivisions, HTS isn't strong enough to control the country single-handedly. Complicating matters is Syria's ethnic tapestry. This map shows what that looks like. Alawites dominate the coastal region, Druze communities make up the majority in the south, and Kurds populate the northern parts. Spread interchangeably across are Christians, Ismailis, Turkmens, and others.
Well, it sounds like you need a socialist federation of nationalities. Like, the only way, like, there have been several multicultural states in history. Like, the rightists, when they said that, oh, multiculturalism doesn't work. Everybody needs their own ethno-state. No, that doesn't work. And no, Kurdistan is not going to be an ethno-state because the Kurds are a nationally oppressed people. And the Kurds have said, like, on many occasions, like, yeah, we're not going to ethnically cleanse our comrades, our brothers. But, like, Yugoslavia, even though it, of course, went down in flames, like the Bosnians, the Croats, the Serbs, the like, you had several dozen ethnicities, Albanians, Kosovars, like, living in relative peace and harmony. Same in the Soviet Union. Of course, there was still chauvinism, but it just demonstrates how, like, when you don't have a socialist plan, when you don't have a socialist orientation, then all of these petty little ethnic quarrels and squabbles, they're going to they're going to rip your country apart. And you have to have something that binds all of these people together. You have to have a mission. You have to have a goal. You have to have a narrative that actually keeps people together and convinces them to think of each other as comrades and brothers as opposed to being like eternal enemies.
Sunnis are the clear majority, but how all these groups will coexist is unclear. Syria is highly polarized, and without consensus,
I will be back.
the factions that overthrew Assad could just as easily splinter and fight among themselves. A secular state would work, but secularism is viewed differently in the Middle East. It means something else than in the West. Half a century of secular rule in Syria has left the term synonymous with tyranny. And so the way the locals see it, if tyranny equals secularism, then freedom must equal Islamism. This then explains why so many Sunni Arabs turn to Islamist ideas. With HTS in power, its leadership wants a government form that would allow for Sharia law. What that means, nobody knows. Even HTS is unsure. So reaching some kind of power-sharing arrangement will take time. Even so, HTS has two other contenders to deal with, the SNA and the SDF. The SNA, which stands for Syrian National Army, controls a sliver of territory by the Turkish border.
Turkish proxies.
They hold perhaps the smallest segment of Syria, both in territory and population. On the other hand, the SNA is backed by Turkey and has access to sophisticated weaponry that can tilt any battle.
I wonder how much of that shit came from the US.
Meanwhile,
Like you basically got two proxies fighting each other, both of which are armed by the US.
tucked in the northeast is the SDF, or the Syrian Democratic Forces. They are
AKA the good guys.
backed by the United States, but also partially by Russia. The SDF made some progress in the recent attack and moved west of the Euphrates River, taking the city of Deir ez-Zor. However, unlike its name, the SDF is neither Syrian nor democratic. It has never held elections, and most of the territory it controls is home to ethnic Arabs. In truth, the SDF is an offshoot of the PKK, the Kurdish separatist group that has been battling Turkey. And you may have guessed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder whose propaganda this is. This did make me want to play Civ, though. The U.S. and Turkey during the Iraq-Iran war in one country. I guess that's a... You all have a very amusing way of simplifying things. Where is fucking Civ? There we go. Nothing like moving little guys around on a map to make you happy. You're bringing in firewood. Where the fuck do you live? The 18th century? Bringing in firewood. I don't want to play as fucking Napoleon. Fuck Napoleon.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water to the bright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Amanitor, watchful queen of Nubia.
On the Nile. First world or American can't believe people are heating their homes with wood. People in America heat their homes with wood. They just live in the fucking boonies. I believe it is, actually.
I thought Clay must feel happy.
If it's not, it sure sounds a lot like him. I'm just giving you shit.
At his best, man is the...
I'm sorry you live in such an uncivilized place where you don't have the joys of centralized heating.
I am fond of pigs.
You had a centralized government, but you haven't had a centralized heating. You had a centralized economy, but you haven't had centralized heating. Oh well. Yeah, I've heard people talk about how difficult Soulsborne is. Never got around to it, not my style. In case you haven't noticed, I like moving little guys around on maps to make myself feel powerful.
Who deserves more credit than the wife ever?
Wouldn't be Nubia without archers.
Without craftsmanship.
For some reason, American leftists love going to Prague. I don't know what the pool of Prague is, but yeah. It's also really, really big in DSA. Like every fucking few months, somebody's going to fucking Prague. I don't know what the appeal is. I don't know what the big deal is. It's a very beautiful city, obviously, from pictures I've seen, but I just don't see why you would spend thousands of dollars to go there. Or maybe I'm just a fucking uncivilized yokel. Karma. Saw some replies on your tweets. Why are people so adamant on licking Stalin or Trotsky's ass when that crap happened like 80 years ago? We have a brand new stage of Marxism. I don't know. So if you don't know anything about leftists are very, very fucking fixated on stupid shit. Like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? You have people that are literally dying in miserable, horrible, disgusting ways, and you're still arguing and litigating cases from 84 fucking years ago.
Lives by exchanging.
Prague is beautiful. The country sucks to live in, though. Food is disgusting and way too expensive for how dog shit it tastes. It sounds like Paris. Like, French cuisine is highly overrated. Not to fuck you. Okay, you force-fed a goose until its liver exploded, and now this is a delicacy. Whoop-de-fucking do. How dare you insult the pâté de foie? And Paris is a shithole. But you cannot insult their shithole. Yeah, falafel go hard. Falafel go hard as fuck. That is not overrated. Mediterranean food in general is dope.
I am Robert Bruce. Scotland may fall with. Be it through a fell that's a whet author o battalion.
Okay. Tweeds and haggis. I'll take the tweeds. You could keep the haggis, though.
It was luxuries like air conditioning that brought down the Roman Empire. With air conditioning, their windows were shut. They
I love his medallion.
When I saw the House of Art, it is not that life assured.
Yeah, Olive Garden. Olive Garden has fell off. When I was a kid, that was like the place to go. But now it's fallen off horribly. Not a fan of modern day Olive Garden.
Writing is easy. Mysticism is the mistake.
For some reason, the character Luigi saw a certain surge in popularity here in Italy these days. Have you not been following the news from the US?
It were wees as to keep in mid thy neighbours.
physician without a knowledge of astrology. Thousands have lived with it. I don't underrate the...
You do not know of our Lord and Savior, Luigi Mangione? Well, let's not get carried away. I'm never referring to an Italian twink as my Lord and Savior, but white people have finally decided to join the revolution. Luigi isn't a revolutionary. He just did a really cool thing. Nah, you're alright, my dear Serbian provincial. Go chop some more firewood. Luigi Mangione? Who is Luigi Mangione? All I know is Marshal Tito. Yes, I will give the Scots lung cancer.
Everything has its limit. I've lived through some terrible... Wealth consists not all the world's a stage.
Yes, leftists should constantly be criticized. And I'm not one of those guys I'm never going to make a why I left the left video. But like, yeah, the left has a lot of just negative, idiotic, the worst traits of academia are endemic on the left. Like, y'all literally just sit around and argue over shit that really does not mean anything to anybody. Like, what worker do you know? Like, do you really think the cashier at Dollar General is sitting around thinking about Stalin versus Trotsky bullshit day after day? No. They have real fucking problems.
When wasteful war
And the left has no real solutions to any of those problems. It's just endless fucking dogma, endless fucking slogans. We haven't gotten shit accomplished. So why would anybody follow such people? Who would want to be bothered? Nobody cares. That's why they go in for fascism and other distractions. It's all our fault. Yes, he bumped off the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, in New York City as he left his hotel. God's grief. Where do you get your news? A carrier pigeon?
The 4 building blocks.
Are you just now finding out about World War II?
Jaskinkin, Inkakuna.
Fuck off.
No hour of life is wasted.
You live in a village, you chop firewood, and you don't even know what happened in the most important and powerful country in the world. Eh. I envy you. I don't despise you. I envy you. I wish I'd just have like a little cabin on the mountain somewhere and not know shit. Ooh, free military unit. I wonder what I should eat for dinner tonight. Hold on, I will be right back. I probably want to get a haircut or something. Y'all are real fucking funny.
One man's match being a mercenary, though.
I actually cut my own hair. I mean, it's really not that hard. All I gotta do is shave the shit off. Yeah, Luigi Mangione did work on this very game. He worked to help get rid of the bugs and shit. Oh, put swords in the hands of every black man.
There is nothing but a plank.
Why do they have Zulu-looking shields?
We can roam the bloated stacks.
Money, money, money. Samaria has declared war on the Incans in 40 AD. Fascinating.
The purpose of education, it's all papers and forms. Without mathematics, we can no more have exact religious thinking without theology. And all I ask,
Do I play Hearts of Iron 4? I do not. I've played Victoria quite a bit. Not confident enough for me to stream it, though. I don't want you all to see me getting my ass beat.
that overcometh will I divide and rule, a sound motto. Unite and lead, a better one.
I don't think Nubia was ever a republic, but it is today. There we go.
I'd imagine the whole world as one big machine. Machines never come with any spare parts, you know. They always come with the exact amount they need. Invincibility lies in the defense.
Am I going to play Civilization 7 when it comes out? Considering I've been playing Civ since I was knee-high to a fucking Deng Xiaoping, yes. You know they put me in a HOI 4 mod? Like leader of independent New Africa or something. Nubia does have a very interesting culture, very old culture. I always want to go to the Sudan one day. But, not a very good place to hang out at right now.
There is no easy way to train.
I'm really the first person to find out how to put a guy on a horse and give him a sword? Okay. Well, spear. Is this a city called Heh? I wonder if it was founded by George Bush.
All that glisters is not gold. And first, Hephaestus. You can't go around arresting the thief.
Soon we shall have a merchant republic. Nice foundation for communism.
Strategy requires thought.
It's getting there. It's not as shitty as Matterlords, because Matterlords, they literally released a game that's still in development. But, yeah, Skylines 2 is improving. Not as shitty as it was when it was first released, but I actually loved it. It's a beautiful game. Learn through practice, I suppose. I guess that's the game developer's motto, as well as the Maoists' motto.
If you see a castle under... A knight there was, and that's a worthy man.
I love real-time strategy games. I grew up on Age of Empires and Rise of Nations. Yes, big RTS stand. There we go. Fucking economy is booming. Gotta have a bigger army to keep the colonizers away. And to have a suitable army, you have to have a suitable economy. Otherwise, you shall be broke very fast. And of course, by capital, it's the largest, most beautiful city in the world. Ranged, we are Nubians. I haven't played Stellaris in a while. Oh, I'm dumb. Need to get this silver.
Few inventions have been so... Blast. Build. Then weave the web of the mystic measure.
Yeah, I think it's time to expand south a little bit. This is the last time I disappear, I promise. I gotta go cut the TV on. You know, Australia banned guns because some dude shot up like a tourist trap or something. That's why they don't allow people to just waltz around with guns. You can waltz Matilda, but you can't waltz guns. It's very unfortunate. Guns are fun. But all it takes is one lunatic to fuck it up for everybody.
In democracy, it's your vote that...
Surprised you all aren't asking me theoretical questions. BRG, if you're a Maoist, why have you built a Nubian merchant republic? That's not how you develop the productive forces, comrade.
People can have the Model T in any color.
I'm building a Sudan with no famine. Have I heard of Lady Izdihar? Yes. We follow each other on Twitter. I really, really like her, well, for what I like her vintage Soviet fashion. Well, Eastern Bloc fashion, I think it could be termed more generally. But I also like her political line. A little revisionist, but
roll back upon it.
nobody's perfect. I just like that there are communist content creators actually doing good shit. Yeah, if there's a communist content creator, I've probably heard of them. For good or for ill. Most people that like do stuff like this that are streamers or video essays, most of them are centrists, so the communists that we do have are precious, and we should cherish them. Built a city next to a volcano. Nothing wrong could ever happen. Thoughts on how Civ 7 looks so far? It's alright. My answer to anything like that is, it's alright. I'm very hard to displease. At least when when shit is not related to politics. Now, when it comes to politics, I'm very easy to displease.
A good navy is not a provocation to war.
Look at my cute
Man is
little
a
city.
military animal.
Wonder why Pachacuti is mad at me. Yeah, who cares? He's all the way up there. I'm down here. Plus, I believe, I think he's made amends with Sumeria. So, I don't think he wants to fight the Nubians, so that would not be to his benefit. No, I'm not selling you fucking gunpowder. Sorry, Gilgamesh.
There is little man has made that approaches. You must not lose faith in humanity.
I just really like that the cities in Civ 7 actually look like cities that are just blobs of something that look like buildings. Koi. They brought me guinea pig to eat. I should declare war on them just for that. Wow, that was chauvinist. Fuck it, I'll eat the guinea pig in the interest of cultural collaboration and unity amongst non-white peoples. But I'm not going to like it. It's a fucking guinea pig, a cute little pet for fuck's sake. That's what Kui is, by the way. I actually watched a National Geographic documentary about it. To make the Kui, the guinea pig, they literally just take the damn thing and wring it out like a towel. Poor bastards. I don't know. Guess I'm not as much of a cultural relativist as I thought. One man's pet is another man's potluck. Help out a white person? Nah. Even though technically the Scots are an oppressed nationality, they don't act like it. Running dogs and lackeys to the British.
New opinions are always suspected, and you... not all who wander.
Samaria has founded Buddhism. Scotland has declared war on Persia. How the fuck did y'all even get that close to each other? You wayfair worshipping bastards. You're heretics. That was a horrible approximation of a Scottish accent, I know. Foul Bay. What an auspicious name.
What gunpowder did for war?
The Inca are expanding. Y'all better not come try to live by me. No way. Not sharing the land.
Just king.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, a wildfire. Lovely. Nubia. Oh, I did not mean to accept that, but I did. Oh well. I've got enough money. I'll catch y'all later. I've got a DSA thing to go to. Save this first. I don't know why they have to, like, announce every single fucking thing. Plus, my food is here. I don't think y'all want to watch me eat. I'm not fucking Assad. Catch y'all tomorrow. Maybe I'll have something of importance to say besides actually succeeding in building Nubia. You heard the rumor that Mao and Stalin will be in Civ 7. That would be dope. But it would be... What would be